Welcome, folks, one and all. This is the last video of the year for Ferox Frank here on the Ferox Frank channel. Yeah, hope you all had a great Christmas. I sure as hell didn't. Yeah, let's just say I had a lot of crazy shit to deal with on Christmas. Things didn't go well at all. So much so that I even wondered why the hell I even celebrate Christmas at all. Oh, and if you're wondering, who actually was responsible for my hellish Christmas, my father, amongst all things. Yeah. So, how bad was it? Well, let's just say I needed to see a chiropractor after what I had to go through, and I've been busy for like the last week, ever since after Christmas, literally cleaning my family's old house. Yeah, lots of fun there. But either way, I did get some good stuff for Christmas. I got some nice clothes, some candy. Uh, My buddy, just the other day, actually gave me the Cowabunga collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My childhood right here on the spot. And also, my family got me Godzilla Minus One on Blu-ray. Oh, yes. Really quite happy. I finally get to watch this movie again. Even though I already saw it on Netflix several times. So, what's today's movie going to be? Well, today's movie is a bit of a special one. It's another action based movie that a lot of people never do. It took place during the Christmas holiday season. And I really wish I was exaggerating about that. And it so happens to be another Sylvester Stallone movie, amongst all things. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, COBRA. Yes, yes, COBRA. And, huh, somebody turned the light on back there. Oh well, what can I say about this movie? No, really, what can I say about this movie? I mean, this movie has been ripped apart a bunch of times. I mean, in a sense, a lot of people thought it was just some really ridiculous action movie, but in the end, you want to know what it really is? It's Sylvester Stallone's answer to Beverly Hills Cop. Yes, Beverly Hills Cop, that wonderful '80s comedic action classic. Why is this movie connected to Beverly Hills Cop? Okay, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. All right. Originally, Sylvester Stallone was supposed to star in Beverly Hills Cop. However, the way he wanted to do Beverly Hills Cop was not as well funny and cheesy as and ridiculous as the one we know today, starring as the classic starring Eddie Murphy. So instead, what we got, so instead of actually getting that film, well, Stallone made so many changes to the original script that it didn't become the original film that we know and love today. So so eventually he was fired from Beverly Hills Cop, and well, the movie actually got Eddie Murphy, and yeah, it became a massive hit of the 1980s. So much so, Stallone got kind of pissed off at the fact that he was kicked off that he was actually fired. So he got his own people together and actually got this film made as a retaliation, showing his original version of what Beverly Hills Cop could have been. The end result, it got ripped up. It was actually as it was the poster was used as a joke for Beverly Hills Cop 2. I mean, seriously, I mean, you know that scene where oh god, wow. You know that scene where Billy is actually going through a bit of a crisis, going through like an action film type of crisis with a bunch of like artillery and stuff, and he's got like a bunch of guns in the bathroom. Dude, seriously, this poster of the movie was actually was actually on the bathroom wall, and well, Eddie Murphy just looked at it as like it was a joke. So yeah, the thing is that movie was making fun of this movie, which was actually going back at Beverly Hills Cop, and the sequel tore it apart. Wow. And too bad there was no sequel to this one. That being said, is it a really bad movie? Well, it's a guilty pleasure film. Yeah, That's all it is to it. You remember the movie? Uh, yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, the Steven Seagal film Out for Justice. Everybody knew that movie was gonna suck, but the fact is, it was bad. But it was so bad, it was so good that it was basically a guilty pleasure film. And in the end, this movie was originally supposed to be the Beverly Hills Cop film that Stallone wanted to make, but in the end, it became a bit of a cult film, and now it's a guilty pleasure film. So, yeah, it took many years later, but hey, something happened. Something good came out of it. The movie basically opens with some guy just running, some biker just running around, just driving through the city and stuff. He stops at a place called King's Market, which is a little weird considering the fact that I was actually playing the Saints Row game while I was doing the review, when I was actually watching this movie recently. So yeah, I was playing the original Saints Row on Xbox. Not even kidding. And I noticed it was, that the King's Market thing that's in the game is the same in this movie. So I'm starting to think that maybe Cobra was one of the inspirations for the game, or maybe it's just a fucking coincidence. Who the hell knows? Either way, this guy actually is like he's clearly high on something. He's walking around like with sunglasses and everything, like walks into the store, bumps into people, moves people around like he doesn't give a shit. It's like, hey, shoot. One of the clerks goes, "Hey, hey, sir, can I help you?" Guy pulls out a shotgun and starts shooting the produce. And okay, you know what? Since I know a thing or two about guns, this is a small shotgun, which probably has like maybe what four has like what four shells in the magazine, possibly five if you put one in if you like put one in the chamber. Yeah, the second he pulls out, well, to be fair, it's four. But seriously, I don't know how many. But you just gotta love action movie logic, where it's like, oh, it's a shotgun, it's got infinite ammo. How do you know that? Because the guy literally fires off like 12 shots, and we don't see him like load the gun anytime soon. I love action film logic, people, especially in the 19 fucking 80s. And when the police come by and try to use negotiation tactics trying to calm him down, it doesn't work. He actually kills a couple of more people. And so the chief of police says so the captain actually goes, call the Cobra. Who's the Cobra? It's Stallone. And his name is Cobra Cabretti. So yeah, Cabretti is actually his real name. So Cobra is clearly it's actually the shortened term of it. Go figure, right? So yeah, Stallone goes right. So yeah, Stallone's partner Gonzalez actually tells him all the beef, and there's another guy called Monty who's actually a head detective, and he says he disagreed in bringing him in here. So Cobra goes in and he just wanders around the store, and there's a bunch of people still in the fucking store. It's like, guys, you can fucking leave, right? The guy's literally in the back of the store in the meat section, right where the butchery stuff is. I mean, you can literally just go and leave. The fuck? Terror, my friends. Pure terror. So yeah, what's Cobra do? He's basically fucking around with the guy, and he tells him, "Hey, dirtbag, you wasted the kid, and you're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots. But I gotta take you out." So goes face to face with the guy. Now here's the thing: this guy is actually part of a sadistic cult and their slogan is, "It's the way of the new world, killing all the weak so the strong can survive." The way of the new world. And keep this in mind, this was in the original script for Stallone's version of Beverly Hills Cop. Now that I think about it, maybe it should have been interesting to see how that film would have turned out. They actually let him do what he wanted to do. Oh well, maybe in an alternate universe, somewhere in the multiverse, that film exists. Well, yeah, just let AI do it. So, anyways, so eventually Cobra actually throws a knife at the guy and just kills him. And she takes out his pistol and shoots him. I should also mention he has look at it. He actually has a match in his mouth. If you remember the movie Deadpool with Gina Carano's character, how she's always chewing on a match, yeah, that was a clear reference to this film. So it was a huge joke. And oh, here's a bit of a fun fact. the gun that he's using is a Colt 1911 45 caliber pistol, and what's on the handle grips? Oh, it's a picture of a cobra that looks similar to Cobra Kai's cobras. I smell a lawsuit. Either that, or maybe Cobra Kai actually does exist in this universe, and it's actually a really good gem. Now that I think about Cobra Kai, should we review the Karate Kid film sometime soon? But then again, there's a new film coming out, and part 3 of season 6 is coming out. So yeah, go figure, right? It's gonna be one hell of a. I mean, seriously, it's one hell of a long fucking season. Oh, yeah. So eventually, so the news actually gives them a lot of crap, and well, one reporter says that that the guy deserved full attention of the law, actually deserved protection of the law. That is until Cobra actually grabs the guy and brings him to the kid and shows him the kid that he just shot in the head, that the guy just killed. It's like, you want to tell that to his family? Huh? Okay, you know what? Joking aside, I'm not gonna lie. Anybody who's in this situation probably would have done the exact same thing. And we are introduced to our main villain, the Night Slasher, played by the same actor who played Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I say that because I keep forgetting his fucking name. Seriously, this guy really deserved more movies. It's really a shame he didn't get much of anything else. The main killer, known as the Night Slasher, goes around killing a bunch of people, and he's actually the head leader of the sadistic cult. And somebody actually yelled in the press conference earlier saying, "Is this part of the Night Slasher crimes?" And of course, Monty dismissed it as, "Hey, that's a completely different case." Not even realizing that, yeah, it's actually all part of the same case because he's the cult leader. Go figure. So he just goes around killing random people. Cabretti and Gonzalez are part of this team called the Zombie Squad, which means they bring in a bunch of the worst in the crime syndicate. And oh yeah, the whole thing takes place during the Christmas holiday season, and it's all Los Angeles. Yeah. Eventually, the Night Slasher actually slips up on one of his next targets, and our main female lead, played by Bridget Nielsen, amongst all things, which is weird seeing her in this movie because she's actually one of the main villains in Beverly Hills Cop 2, and that movie actually ripped this one a new one. Go figure, right? But then again, Stallone and Bridget Nielsen were dating at the time, so yeah, go figure. So eventually, she actually sees the Night Slasher, and he walks up to her, creeps her out a little bit. She drives away. She goes out to a photo shoot, and well, they find and one of the Night Slasher's personnel, known as Stalk, happens to be a cop, and she finds the location of who this person is. So the gang goes after her, and well, to be fair, they missed. Yeah, they missed. Yeah, they missed. They actually killed several people, and they missed their target, which was the girl. Meanwhile, before all that shit happens, Cobretti tries to actually ask to come join in on the investigation. He doesn't want any glory. He just wants to stop this fucking maniac, just like everybody else does. He doesn't want any glory amongst the whole thing. So, of course, the captain turns him down. About eventually, he and Monty and him are not on good terms at all. Now, Monty. Oh, here's another fun fact too. The guy who's playing Monty is the same guy who actually played Scorpio in the first Dirty Harry film, and also played Christie's father in the first Hellraiser film before asshole killed him and took his skin. Oh, he's also the original act. Oh, he's also the original stepfather. The serial killer. Go figure, right? The fuck were they thinking? But either way, they go anyway. They get called to the girl's location. She actually takes a witness statement, and here's a bit of an ironic twist. She actually tells them she actually saw this guy actually exit a car, which is something that the detectives were already at that point. So they connect two and two together that she actually saw the Night Slasher, the actual Night Slasher. And of course, Cabretti comes up with the conclusion that there's actually more than one killer. That maybe the Night Slasher is probably the leader of everything, but nobody believes him. Yeah. So they have the girl sit down with the sketch artist. They have the sketch. Cabretti takes it back to his place, and he actually runs it through the computer, going over the people he actually may know. Some, certain criminals they may know. So, and eventually he gets a call from Gonzalez asking him what he wanted to do with why he wanted him in his office, which didn't make any sense because he didn't call him at all. So he tells him to get back to the hospital. So as Cabrini leaves, more of the Night Slasher's people come by and try to kill him, and Beak takes them out. Mm-hmm. And he races back to the hospital. Meanwhile, the Night Slasher actually makes his way into the hospital and just disguises himself as a janitor. Kills a couple, kills the janitor, kills a couple of other people, a nurse, a patient, just for no fucking reason at all whatsoever because he's a fucking psycho. Psycho. The man, a fucking psycho. And he tries going after her again in typical slasher villain style. And Bridget Nielsen's character actually runs away real quick, and she pulls the fire alarm, which of course alerts everybody to get the hell out of the hospital. Eventually, the Night Slash leaves. Cobra finds her and actually reunites with her, and now she's safe. So it's down to the conclusion that they need to take her out and put her into a safe house. As they're about to leave, Monty and Cobra actually go back and forth a little bit, like who the hell actually pulled the security detail off the girl. So, because apparently somebody in head HQ did it. Nobody knows what happened. Anyway, we see Stalk is actually teams up with Gonzalez, so we know where this is heading, right? Not good. And eventually they try to leave, but the Night Slasher and his team come by and fuck shit up even more. We have an intensive car chase sequence between the Night Slasher and Cobra, and it's a pretty decent action scene. It just comes right the fuck up out of nowhere. It's pretty cool. But in the end, Night Slasher and his guys get away. And back at HQ, everybody's giving Cobra shit, and Cobra's telling them that they're dealing with an army of fucking psychos. Of course, and of course, Monty dismisses it, calls them out on it though, and they get into a bit of a fist fight. Well, sort of. It's basically like a struggling, like, kick your fucking ass in, that type of thing. Typical action film cliche shit. But then again, it's the 1980s. What would you expect? Am I right? Sorry, my back's a little screwed up. I haven't actually hit the gym in almost a week now because of this whole thing. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm probably gonna hit the weights. Probably not super much, but just enough to give me some muscle back and do some kickboxing. Just regular band work and kickboxing and a lot of cardio so I can get back into shape. But it looks like I'm gonna have to build up some muscle because my dad's a one heavy son of a bitch. Uh, yeah. Now, I'm saying that as a cliche. It's like, man, that is one big son of a bitch. Man, that thing is one big son of a bitch. Yeah, it's that typical action movie cliche. I mean, look at me. I'm dressed up as a sports guy. I have 90s action film nostalgia and 80s film nostalgia. I grew up in the 90s, and I'm pretty much familiar with all these terms. That being said, let's get back to the movie. So eventually, they actually get the girl out of town, and of course, Stalk actually, every time they stop somewhere, Stalk actually gives them a location. And the Night Slasher gets every one of his psychomaniacs to get together so they can go out and hunting them. Oh, lovely. And eventually, we find out Cobra's real name is Marion Cobretti. Yeah, his real name is Marion Cobretti. So his full name is Marion Cobra Cobretti, or Cobra Marion Cobretti, or Marion Cobretti the Cobra. I get it. Actually, joking aside, when I was playing Saints Row 2 like a few years back, like back in the mid 2000s, 2010s actually, I actually created a character. I made my character look similar to Stallone's character, saying this is actually Cobretti's kid, and I made him dress like the Cobra too. Not even joking. God, I'm pathetic. So eventually, Bridget Nielsen's character and Cobra get along a lot well because, like I said, they were a couple in real life, and they're getting ready to move out. And Cobra is basically getting his main gun ready, which of course is this thing. Yeah, look at that gun. The artwork. Here's what it looks like here in the back. Yep. Okay. Personally, from what I found out for people who are in the NRA, in National Rifleman Association, aka the NRA, or gun enthusiasts, they say that this gun is a piece of shit. So much so that the only redeeming feature is actually this laser thing that's on top of the gun. Ouch. What was an Uzi knife? Okay, seriously, was an Uzi too expensive at the time? I mean, come on, Schwarzenegger had them in the original Terminator. Oh, maybe that's why they wanted to make a cool gun or something. Also, oh wait, here's the Cobra thing on his pistol. See that? May not. Okay, so it's not the same thing as Cobra Kai, but whatever. Speaking of Cobra Kai, I really need to go back to doing karate. Okay. So we get a little romantic scene between Bridget Nielsen and Cobra. Oh, that's nice. And the next morning, we find Gonzalez and Cobra and of course, Bridget Nielsen all together, and they're running where Stalk is. They're seeing a bunch of the gang members coming around, and Stalk is actually directing them where to go. Typical action movie cliche fashion. And a massive firefight breaks out. Yep, in a small rural town. And there's even a scene where the gang members where the gang actually goes right into a freaking police station and kill all the cops. Supposedly, we don't see anything. They just attack the cops or the sheriff's station. Whatever. Eventually, a massive gunfight breaks out. Gonzalez gets injured, and they have a huge chase sequence again. This time they're inside of a steel mill warehouse. Oh, great! We got a bunch of machinery going around. Lovely. There's a bit of a subplot going on in the whole fight sequence where one of the gang members actually has a sniper rifle. He's trying to kill Cobra, but he can't get a shot off. And eventually, Cobra gets the better half of him by dumping gasoline on him, taking his match, lighting it up. It's like, you have the right to remain silent. Ah! Well, he's dead. Move on. Yeah, the whole thing is basically just filled with explosions, gunfights, Stallone yelling slash slurring. Yeah, there! Yeah, yeah, that type of usual shit. Yeah. So typical usual shit that we don't really see in a Stallone action film. Except for some reason that's not really in the Rambo. Except for some reason that's not in the Rambo films. Huh. Actually, now that I think about it, can you imagine these gang members actually went after somebody like John Rambo? No, never mind. Yeah, they would be dead in less than 2 seconds. Never mind. If it was John Matrix, it would have been a lot worse. What I mean by John Matrix, Commando bitches. So eventually, the Night Slasher calls out Stallone's Cobra. It's like, "Come on, pig! Come on to hell with me, pig!" So yeah, and then Cobra gets the final drop on him. But Stalk actually tries to interferes, and of course, Stallone actually uses her as a bullet shield on from of course the Night Slasher's shotgun. And now we get a nice little brawl session between the Night Slasher and Cobra. It's a back and forth fight, and the whole thing basically ends with with Cobra beating the shit out of him, punching him really hard with his right. Ugh, ugh, picks him up, he leans him on a meat hook, and he goes right into a fire pit, burning him alive. Hmm. What was it that you said? That the weak deserve to die and the strong survive, and the weak are just pray for the strong. Well, clearly you were right, jackass. Basically, they finally everybody. So yeah, the movie basically ends with like Cobra actually checking on Gonzalez. He's going to survive, and he's killing for gummy bears. There's like a whole there's like a bunch of junk food jokes with the guy. So the whole gummy bear thing is kind of funny when you think about it. There's even one segment earlier on in the movie where where Cobra goes, Gonzalez, you wanna know what your problem is? What? You're too violent. What? No, I'm serious, man. You're way too violent. It's all that sugar you've been eating. I mean, why don't you have some prunes, some raisins, eat some fish, natural stuff. I mean, come on. Like, Christ. Fuck you. Yeah. And eventually, of course, the chief actually congratulates Cobra on a job well done, even though it's a massive body count. But who the hell cares? The Night Slasher's dead. Move on. And of course, when it comes down to Monty, do they reconcile the differences? Yeah. And then Stallone punches, and then Cobra knocks him the fuck out by punching him in the face. No hard feelings. Oh, now we're good. No hard feelings. Oh, and you want to know what the real messed up part is? It turns out in the original version of the film, Monty was actually part of the cult. Yeah. So supposedly that they actually shot the original film and they actually shot some different scenes with Monty's character eventually to recycle the original version, but also to get rid of the original ending, which turns out Monty was actually part of the gang and he gets arrested at the end. Go figure. So the movie ends with Cobra and Bridget Nielsen's character riding off into the sunset on a motorcycle with some nice 80 tunes. The end. That's Cobra. So, do I recommend this wonderful piece of the 80s nostalgia with the slogan here on the top saying, "Crime is disease, disease the cure." Crime is a disease. Meet the cure, my friends. Oh yes, he's the cure. So, would I recommend this movie? Yeah, I actually kind of do. I mean, it's a ridiculous guilty pleasure film. I'm not gonna lie. It's a cult film. It's an 80s action film. So that pretty much checks off everything. As you definitely should probably watch it. So I do kind of. So if you're an 80s action nut, give this movie a watch. You'll probably love it. That being said, this is gonna be my last film until next month, which may not be for like another couple of weeks because I have a lot more stuff to do. I'm pretty sure Joe's taking the rest for a while too because he was helping my dad out too. And well, he's on bed rest at the moment though. He wants to do one more video probably tomorrow. Well, probably tomorrow as his last video. Rex, he's probably going to do a new video for the new year, or he wants to do something beforehand. Either way, it's going to be kind of interesting. So look forward to 3 videos from these guys coming soon. Either way, as for Cobra, it's pure 80s nostalgic fun. Give it a watch. I actually have 3 copies of the movie. I have 2 Blu-ray versions, and one of the Blu-ray versions is actually part of a Stallone collection, and another one's actually just a solo Blu-ray, and I had the original DVD, which I actually bought many years ago. So, like I said, give it a watch. You may like it, you may not like it. It's 80s nostalgia. It's a cult film. All you know is it's going to be cheesy. It's going to be a huge guilty pleasure film. You may not like it, or you may like it. Either way, shut your brain off and just enjoy the film, just like I did. Anyway, that's the last film for the Fearox channel of this year. Fearox Frank, out. You all have a happy new year, and I'll see you next year, technically. And, oh boy, I cannot wait for Orthodox Christmas. Yeah, in case you didn't realize it, Rex, Joe, and I, we celebrate Orthodox Christmas now, which is basically away from that. There's also late Christmas too, which happens a little bit, which happens afterwards. I don't know what my mom says, but hey, then again, I'm thinking it's Orthodox Christmas. That's the one I'm going to go with. Hence why my trees still remain. I got another one here too. Look at that. Look at this little one. Anyway, see you all next year.